This is the Wheatstone Broadcasting Corporation.
I'm Scott Fybush. Here at Wheatstone, we're talking with Paul Stewart from ENCO. Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Let's talk about integrating automation into today's radio environment and all the things people are dealing with trying to virtualize, with trying to integrate. Set up the broad picture for me here.
Absolutely. So one of the emerging trends in broadcast automation is virtualization. And of course, within a virtual environment, there are numerous advantages. And the one thing you give up is I/O. You simply don't have the hardware to accommodate a sound card. And that is where an AoIP system is so fundamentally important to a virtual environment. With a virtual system, folks have seen cost savings, efficiency in terms of moving from studio to studio. You simply walk into a new studio. Make sure that the board, you call up your different profile, your production profile or your on-air profile, and you call up the corresponding session within the virtual environment, and those settings can follow you from studio to studio, and so you really make the best use of the space that you have at your station.
And this is an issue a lot of times now if you have a station that's maybe doing HD streams, has added translators, and doesn't necessarily want to maintain physical studios for each of those that may not get used very much at all.
Absolutely. There's no need to have a session running on any thin client anywhere in the facility. If you want to have some running in the background and call them up intermittently for scheduling or maintenance and what have you, you could do that from any studio. But there's absolutely no reason why a studio should be empty. Unless everyone's gone home.
And it makes it easier at that point to work from outside a physical facility, too.
It certainly does. If you are connected through a VPN, you're certainly able to control one of those sessions and make changes and use it just like you would if you're physically at the studio.
What are the things people should be thinking about then if they're going into perhaps an upgrade or a rebuild and they want to integrate particularly with an audio over IP network? What are the considerations both from your end and then, say, with a WheatNet system, for instance?
Well, I would say that if you're certainly a larger station, you can take advantage of the economies of scale. Having one hardware unit is certainly going to be more efficient in terms of rack space and in terms of costs and maintenance and energy costs to cool and to power than having numerous hardware workstations. If you decide that you want to go the route of virtualization, to realize some of those cost savings, you're absolutely going to have to think about an AoIP system and AoIP control consoles. In our booth, we have a Wheatstone audio console set up, and we've got, I think, 3 virtual workstations all through one board. So the audio routing makes it really, really simple to send to send a source to the board without even being that studio's session. It doesn't have to be functionally fixed like it has in the past with traditional analog consoles.
So if you need it to be station A, you press a button and it's station A.
Exactly.
And if it needs to be station D at your cluster 100 miles down the road, you can do that too.
You can certainly do that as well.
What are some other considerations that people should be thinking about, and some of the other things that you're working on?
Well, certainly mobile integration, and that again goes along with being able to VPN into your station and call up one of those sessions. Sending commands remotely from our different iOS applications, iDad Live, iDad Remote, and be able to. We actually have an application for the iWatch now, so you can take your work home with you and send commands back to the station from really wherever you are.
Is the concept of a fixed studio location starting maybe to become an anachronism?
You know what? That's a good question. I think if we could all soundproof our family rooms, we could certainly get there.
Interesting. Paul Stewart from ENCO, thank you so much for being with us.
And thank you for having me.